What are you doing? You can hear it sniffing, by the way. Come here. You gonna come and say hello? You got it. Come on. You gonna come and say hello? Check it out. Hello. What you gonna do? She's not having any of it, is she? Just wait till it's super late here. So, but I'm just been hanging out, playing this thing. Look at this outrageous pink bass. Some choices in life, you know, you can completely understand. This wouldn't fall into that category. This is the mysterious kind of choice. When I was getting this bill, I was like, yeah, I should get a pink cubic factor. But just look at it though. Come on. Outrageous. Outrageous. And it sounds outrageous as well. Anyway, all of that stuff that I played at the start of this video, by the way, all of that was just a major scale, like one major scale. And when I was younger, I went to a great guitar player for a lesson, like an improvisation lesson. I wasn't going for a guitar lesson. He was a great guitar player. He was an incredible improviser. And I rocked up to his place with my bass wanting improvisation lessons. Great guitar player called Michael Walker from the UK. Lives not so far away from here, maybe like, I don't know, like 60 minutes an hour, like 90 minutes away, something like that. Anyway, all that to say, he's a freaking phenomenal guitar player, and he sat me down. I'll never forget it. I was sitting on his couch, and I've been working professionally and stuff like that. I'd been on the cruise ships for a while, and I'd done a bunch of stuff, and I didn't think I was like all of that. But I did think, I was like, I was up and coming, and I had a little bit of an ego and stuff. And I come and Mike sit me down and said, hey, do you know your major scales? And me saying, yes, of course I know my major scales. And then he asked me to do this simple thing, which actually is pretty simple, but for guitar players and bass players, it kind of just gives you a massive kick in the balls. So I thought I'd run that exercise with you today, just show you what he asked me to do, because I think you'll want to go do it yourself, because the major scale is like the most important scale of all of the scales, because so many of the scales are derived from that scale, right? All of the modes, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, mixed Lydian, all of that, all of the pentatonics, major pentatonic, minor pentatonic, it's all born from the major scale. So it's such an incredible platform to learn all of your instrument, and the likelihood of you not knowing it as well as you should do is really high. So what I thought I'd do is just run through some simple exercises and show you them, and then you can practice them over the next few weeks and be a better bass player and musician off the back of it. And again, apologies for my my fancy production value here. You guys, I did a few of these a few weeks ago, and you guys said you wanted me to do more, so I'm doing some more. So in terms of the major scale, all of the exercises that I'm going to show, well, not all of them, but we'll start off in the key of C major, right? And most of you will know this shape. Okay, that simple major scale shape that we all learned. Fingers 2 and 4, then 1, 2, 4, then 1, 3, 4. Great, okay? But the major scale, it's going to really help you out if you know it with a couple of other fingerings, okay? So you want like 3 fingerings, maybe a 4th one in there as well. I'll show you that as well. So here's the first one. Great, okay? Now the next one that I'd love for you to get under your fingers actually starts on your little finger, okay? Starts right down here and it just moves across. Okay, so starts finger 4, then moves to the next string, goes 1, 3, 4, then 1, shift across with your 4th here, play that A, and then your B and C on the G string there. And then the last one, again, starts on the C of the E string, and then goes up here. Hello, do you want to come and say hello? There you go, hello Miss Daisy. Hello Miss Daisy. What do you think? What do you think about the major scale? Go on, down you go. I'll be with you in a second. Okay, so you've got the first position we talked about. The second position, starting on your little finger. And then the one starting on your first finger, which is 3 notes per string, basically. So fingers 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, and then shift that over, and then 1 and 2. Okay, and by doing that, what happens is I can play, so this, that, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, that happens here. But then I can also come down that shape there that starts on the little finger. Then I've got that second finger positioned again. Then first finger. So you can already see by organizing the major scale into those 3 separate shapes, we can cover the first 12 frets. God, I should have used a bass with dots on it, but there you go. Anyway, so okay, pretty cool, right? So what you want to do is kind of run up each of those shapes and really get used to them under your fingers, okay? And then the other one that I really like to get my students to do as well is 4 notes a string, okay? So it kind of stems from this one, that shape, which is a really popular shape. But all we're going to do is play, instead of playing 3 notes a string, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay, we're going to do 4 notes a string. So it's going to go finger 1, finger 2, finger 4, and then slide a semitone. So C, D, E, F. Then going to play G, A, B. So again, you've got that big spread there, and then slide again with your little finger to the C. So it's going to look like this. And the same shape here. Then you've got D, E, F, G, slide, and then we've got A, B, C, slide to the D. So check that out. That's all the way up there. It goes like this. And I actually like to slide the 4th note on each string. And you can go back down as well. So up and down. Lydian those. There you go, major. You can kind of do it stupid fast if you want to, okay? So they're the sort of like 3, 4 shapes that I think that everybody should get down with your major scales. And also something to, before I get onto that exercise that Mike showed me, another thing that will really help you as well is if you learn all of the arpeggios within a major scale. So the arpeggios would be, you can write these down if you don't know them, but essentially it's like, and I'll do it in the key of C major, but then you can transpose it to any other key, right? So it will be C major, D minor, these are all 7 chords, so it's C major 7, D minor, E minor, F major 7, G dominant 7, A minor 7, B minor 7 flat 5, and then you're back to C major 7. Okay, and they're all contained, that's just all of the notes within C major. Check it out. So that's just going up each one of them. You can also go up one, down the other. So up one, down the other. Now, this exercise that Mike told me that freaking crushed me and taught me that I didn't know the major scale was he gave me it was like a sheet of paper, and it just had random major chords written on it, right? So let's hypothetically say we'll now what you should do is come up with 12 random major chords, but let's just us come up with 4 now, and then you can do 12 on your own, right? So if we pick some like really major chords that aren't related to each other, so like C major to E flat major to G flat major. Yeah, so we got C major to E flat major to G flat major, and then we could go to A major. Okay, so it sounds like this. C, E flat, G flat, A. Pretty peculiar, right? And that's the point. So what Mike asked me to do is then, in the first 5 frets of the instrument, play from the lowest note possible to the highest note possible, and then just stop. When you get to the highest note possible, stop within the first 5 frets for that C major, okay? So I'm going to do this. Now the next chord is an E flat major. Now he asked me to go, okay, so just descend down the E flat major from the note that you're on, and just go as low as you can go down the E flat major. Okay, so I'm like, okay. Now I couldn't do that at all. When he asked me to do like up the C major, for instance, and then down the E flat major from the note I was on to the lowest note possible, my brain just went and completely broke. But by learning the major scale this way, in the way I've showed you with these 3 patterns, it makes it a lot more accessible to do this, right? So let me just go through the exercise, okay? So C major, from the lowest note possible to the highest in the first 5 frets. Down the E flat major. And what was the next one? G flat major, okay? So now we're gonna go from the note that we're on, up G flat major to the highest note we can within the first 5 frets. And then we went to A major, so down A major to the lowest note possible in the first 5 frets. So that was in over A major. You can see there, I'm using that little finger position that I showed you earlier. And then back to the C. And then you do it around, so ideally you'd get the 12 notes of, the 12 diatonic notes, and you'd just, not even diatonic, but 12 notes, the 12 musical notes that exist. And then you just jumble them up. Imagine they're all major chords, and then you just got to play those major scales up and down. I've taught this before, but a long time ago. And it's called I call it the continuous major scale exercise. It's really cool and kind of breaks your brain a bit, but it's really worth it, because ideally, where if I'm, say I'm down here, right, and suddenly I go from a C major to an E flat major, I should be able to and then if the chord moves to, what was it, G flat, right, I want to instantly have that information underneath my hands. Where was it? Down there. And and then it goes to A major, right? So the trick is if you start visualizing your major scales in this way, wherever you are on the neck, it means that as the chord changes, the patterns under your fingers visually will change. That's what you want to aim for. I can remember reading an interview by Wayne Krantz in a guitar play magazine or something like that, and I can remember him saying that when the chord changes, all of the patterns of the chord or the scale just light up like a Christmas tree across the entire fingerboard, and that's how we can navigate around it. Alan Holdsworth said the same thing. So what we're trying to do is work towards having the visualization of our fretboard so dialed in that when the chord changes, all of the information changes on our fretboard, and we're not jumping to, oh, I need to come back here. All of the information just changes underneath our hands. And that's what we should be aiming for, right? So whatever the chord is, the information is underneath your hands. Gary Willis said the same thing back in the day, right? So yeah, so that's it. That's all I've got for you today. I might make a video just on this bass for you guys tomorrow, maybe. I'll see. I've got a bunch of rehearsals tomorrow and some stuff, so I'm gonna have to see what I got on. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you want me to make something on, like, show you the controls and stuff. It's a wild basis, full 80s vibes, and then also let me know, like, do you guys mind if I just delve deeper into some of the nerdier stuff that I've been talking about today, sort of like scales, visualization of the fretboard? It's some stuff that I used to talk about a long time ago on the channel, and the way that YouTube went, it meant that it kind of backed me into a corner where we just had to like focus on the big hitters, top 10 of fill in the blank, you know what I mean, 5 ways to, and although I love doing that stuff because it's a real challenge to learn all of the stuff and do the research, and Ian and I absolutely love it, I would love to do more of this stuff for you as well, where it's just kind of, me, you and Daisy hanging out and talking about scales, nerdy as anything, right? Anyway, yeah, let me know how deep down that rabbit hole do you want me to go. Let me know. I'll speak to you in a bit. Bye.